Hi, good evening, friends. Today, I just want to give a small, just an overview about the system design. This is the concept where every interviewer or any organization where you're aspiring to become a system architect or a solution architect or IT architect are above crossing the bar. This is the one of the fundamental thing where every interviewer expected to ask these questions. So I want to give a small fundamental information about how exactly you have to plan for the system design and how exactly you have to define your interview timeline and how exactly you have to articulate yourself and how you divide the time so that you can able to present your solution appropriately. So before presenting your solution, before considering an interview, you must have some fundamental knowledge about the system design, how exactly the system really works, what type of system, how many tiers are there, what type of technology, like whether it's a web and what type of channel it's a mobile application, and what type of technologies you're using, and how the fetch and execution, that means from one layer to another layer, how the data transmits, how exactly the data is being created, and where exactly the data is being persisted. Those kind of fundamental things you must have some experience. Then only you can able to frame your design appropriately. So first of all, whenever the interviewer give any case study for you, you must have to understand what exactly the system is really doing, that what type of business really it is handling, and how many number of users does it cater. Say an example, if they are creating any website for e-commerce website, they are expecting a high run of concurrent users of 1 million in a peak time like Thanksgiving, Black Friday, something like that. I'm giving a hypothetical example. So how many users are there and what type of business really it does, and how many number of users, in addition to that, how these users are accessing the system. So this is the fundamental thing you have to know. Second thing is you have to take care of your security, how the accessibility takes place, like both authentication and authorization, what type of accessibility you're considering about, like you're going for a single sign-on or you're going for a LDAP, or there are a couple of other algorithms, couple of methodology mechanisms are there. You must give you have to ask the question what type of authentication authorization the client is expecting. We have to define that. Then you have to understand the expectation of the business. Say an example, what type of business really does, as I said earlier, what type of business does really this application does. Based upon that, where that user, the common logic should be placed, where the business transaction should be placed, and where the associated business classes, that means these are called helper classes. Mostly you have, if you have a background from Java or any OOPS based technology, you can understand what exactly these helper classes are, like common classes, utility classes. I'm just giving a hypothetical example. So where exactly how to place, how the collaboration takes place, how the base, where exactly you really put the business engine, where exactly you validate the business request, how exactly the business validation takes place. So all those things you must prepare for a clarity. In order to give that more information, you have to understand the design patterns. Say an example, if I create a business, some business validation logic, how exactly I'm placing and how the interface really looks, who can able to access, if they want to access, what type of accessibility it is, and what type of restrictions you are maintaining. So this is a fundamental thing which you have to define, and you have to make them understand that every transaction, how exactly it is been happening, and where exactly you're capturing the transaction. That should be there. This is the fundamental thing. This is the one of the main ingredient where you have to consider. Then you have to plan for the data accessibility, irrespective of it is a SQL data, RDBMS or no SQL database. How the data is being persisted, how you're pulling the data, and how you're persisting the data, at what transaction, at what execution cycle, at what period of time. That should be there, and how you're accessing the database, that play a very significant role. So you should be in a position to understand, collaborate, and precisely define your data accessibility, data performance, data persistence, and data storage. Then the next comes to the fundamental caching. Caching is the mostly developer activity. In spite of that being an architect, you have to make yourself available that how exactly the caching works.